Ich hab den Segen bekommen und das Ave Maria gleich hinterher. Go! Okay, wir starten, Leute. Ruhig. Es gibt einen Tag- und Nachtwechsel, Leute. Mache die Untertitel für euch an, falls ihr Bock habt. Wer hat den Stream schon gesehen? Eins in den Chat. Ich mache mal die Untertitel an, falls ihr welche braucht. Und let's go. Also er hat hier jetzt hier drei Gäste, ne? Zwei sind Mitarbeiter von Avalanche Studios und einer ist einfach nur ein Riesenfan von der Wizarding World, also Harry Potter und so. Ähm, hm. Ja, den gucken wir nachher. Expecto Go! Expect to Go, richtig, Dankeschön. Der Name ist mir nicht mehr eingefallen, obwohl er eigentlich so einprägsam ist. Und das, was ich am besten finde, was mich richtig so mitgerissen hat, ist die Art und Weise, wie die über das Spiel reden. Also die Mitarbeiter vor allem. Weil die freuen sich richtig, das alles zu erklären. Das kommt am 10. Februar offiziell. Wenn du es vorbestellst, darfst du schon 72 Stunden vorher spielen. Also am 7. Februar kannst du es dann spielen. Ja. Sowas finde ich viel besser als zum Beispiel so eine Art TED-Talk, wenn die einfach nur auf der Bühne stehen und alles erklären. Ähm, Weil da ist es eher so, die lesen so ein Skript runter ab. Aber die freuen sich richtig, alles zu erklären. Gut, wir gehen rein. Achso, er ist nur die eine Hälfte. Und zwar James Whitehead. Expect. Expecto Go. Ach, Leute, ihr wisst, ihr könnt selber lesen. Also Alan 2 und hä? Ich wäre auch happy, wenn ich 5 Jahre an Hogwarts bauen durfte. Sowieso. Ich werde einfach nur rumlaufen und alles anschauen und Fotos machen. Ich will nichts vorwegnehmen, ne? Aber nee, ich kann nicht. Weiter geht's. Sonst landet es auch in der Nase und ist mit Trollrotz voll. 5 Stunden Charakter erstellen, das ist auch das, was ich gesagt habe. Während alle anderen schon am Spielen sind, sitze ich noch hier und erstelle meinen Charakter. Andere werden es schlimmer haben als ich, weil es zum Beispiel Monks sind oder Perfektionisten. Shoutout geht raus an die Personen, die ich meine. Du fühlst dich angesprochen, das heißt, du weißt, wer du bist. Ähm, oh, die ganzen Haare hier, die ganzen Frisuren, ne? Was soll das? Ich weiß gar nicht, was du meinst. Die ganzen Frisuren sind schon nice. Und das Beste wisst ihr noch gar nicht. Er stellt sich jetzt einen Charakter, das dauert ein bisschen. Ähm, und das Haus, in dem er sich dann befindet. Leute, Spoiler. Ach schon. 8 Stunden. Leute, man kann später auch noch Brillen finden. Andere Brillen. Die dann einfach anziehen. Also, falls ihr Brillen anziehen wollt. Das sieht so realistisch aus. Ja, es sah so gut aus. Ich hoffe nicht, dass es jetzt nur wegen dem Showcase, dass es alles so geil aussieht und dann im fertigen Spiel, wenn man sich wieder an Konsolen anpassen musste, alles kacke aussieht. Wie zum Beispiel ich glaube, bei GTA war das mal der Fall. Da sah also im Vorfeld alles richtig geil aus. Und dann später alles wieder so ein bisschen matschiger. Ob WhatsApp gerade nicht geht, I don't know. Diese ganzen Frisuren, Leute, guckt euch das mal an. Die Haare. Leute, wahrscheinlich sieht es für mich gerade noch ein bisschen geiler aus als für euch, weil ich muss es ja auch noch hier bei Twitch senden und so das Ganze. Aber das sieht so geil aus, dieses Glanzdings hier und so. Oh mein Gott. Du hast deine Haare schon? Ja, ich weiß. Für Pascal, du kannst dir leider keine Moles auf deine Arschbacke packen. Sorry. Die ganzen Narben. Die Augenfarbe. Ja, ich sitze hier mit meinem Zauberstab. Nee, ich glaube, Narben kann man nicht ändern. Aber so Frisuren, Haarfarbe, gehe ich von aus. Also Haarfarbe, die Frisur kann man wahrscheinlich ändern. Aber alles, was man, also Narben und deine Stimme, kann man wahrscheinlich nicht mehr ändern. So viele Augenbrauen. Story, 100%. Achso, ja, die Schwierigkeitsstufe. Ähm, ja, was wollte ich noch irgendwas sagen? Achso, man kann, Voice Crack, man kann Vor- und Nachnamen eingeben. Wie geil ist das denn? Wahrscheinlich wird man dann trotzdem nur mit dem, also angesprochen wird man wahrscheinlich nie. Also direkt von irgendeiner Voiceline von irgendjemandem. Ähm, wahrscheinlich bist du immer nur, ey, der Neue oder ey, der, der, der Neue oder was weiß ich, der Dulli. Ähm, du kannst dir männliche oder weibliche Stimmenfarbe geben. Du kannst das alles noch pitchen und du kannst ähm, noch entscheiden, in welchen Schlafraum, Schlafsaal du dich aufhalten willst. Entweder bei den Wizards oder bei den Witches. Das heißt, es ist offen für alle. If you know what I mean. Das heißt, wir brainstormen alle noch eine fancy Nachnamen. Ey, lass uns mal alle denselben Nachnamen nehmen und dann sind wir einfach, obwohl wir getrennt sind, weil wir nicht zusammenspielen können, sind wir doch irgendwie vereint. Wie wär's mit Ballbubis? Weiter geht's. Nein. Ballbubis. Also ich werde direkt auf schwer rein. Geh direkt auf schwer rein. Warum nicht? Warum nicht? Warum nicht Namen? Wie? Das habe ich gerade nicht verstanden, Janine. Könnte sein, dass wir den nicht nehmen dürfen vom Game aus. Ja, es kann sein. Werd, glaube ich, easy nehmen. Ich muss direkt auf schwer rein. Ich muss euch ja was geben. Also ich muss euch was bieten. Ich mach's entweder mega easy oder normal. Moment. Okay, soll ich derweil weitermachen? Oder versuchst du gerade. Du hast gesagt, wir werden nicht beim Namen angesprochen. Ich, warum nicht? Ach so. Ja, weil du kannst ja jeden Namen da eingeben, den du willst. Das heißt, es wird wahrscheinlich. Wahrscheinlich wird's in der Voiceline nicht gesagt, aber vielleicht in den Untertitel, dass da dein Name kommt. Aber es wird ja jetzt niemand kommen, mit der eine Voiceline hat im Spiel und sagen, ey, Janine. Weißt du das mal nicht? Legst du oder ich? Mir wird nichts angezeigt. Weiß ich nicht. Also, ich mach weiter. Also der hat das jetzt alles ganz schnell gemacht, aber wahrscheinlich werden wir uns ein bisschen mehr Zeit lassen als er jetzt. Leute, ich will alles sehen. Könnte mehr sein. Ich finde es halt super schwer zu sagen, worauf sich das auswirkt. Nur auf Kämpfe, dann bin ich bei normal. Sachen leichter finden, Tiere leichter zähmen oder ähnliches, dann würde ich es für erste Mal auf leicht machen, um einfach alles gemütlich erkunden zu können. Ich glaube nur auf Kämpfe. Auf wie schwierig oder entweder, dass die Gegner mehr Schaden austeilen, dass sie mehr einstecken können oder beides gleichzeitig wahrscheinlich. Müssen wir abwarten und gucken. Nicht die einzige mit Story? Ja, bei dir ist es ja, weil du noch nie solche Spiele gespielt hast und so, da verstehe ich das ja. Weiter geht's. Leute, wir sind jetzt im Schlafsaal. Vielleicht erkennt ihr schon, vielleicht auch nicht, aber es geht jetzt los. Wir sind jetzt im Spiel. Guckt hin. Ähm, Wenn es eine Trophäe für hart gibt, nehme ich hart. Sonst normal. Vermutlich gibt es eine Trophäe für hart. Aber ich habe jetzt selber die Trophäe noch nicht angeguckt, weil ich mich nicht spoilern will. Was es da alles noch so gibt. Story ist wichtig, aber ich will ab und zu auch ein bisschen eine Herausforderung mit Duellen oder ähnliches. Du musst eh 4-mal für 100% Trophäen. Ja, spiele als Hufflepuff, spiele als Ravenclaw. Das Gute ist, Melanie, du kannst in einem Durchlauf schon 200% holen. Beziehungsweise 2 durchspielen, weil du ja bist ja Gryffindor und Hufflepuff. Sorry! Ganz viel Liebe geht raus. Wir gehen jetzt rein. Was ist eine Eule? Das ganze Zimmer sieht geil aus. Guck mal hier. Und das Allergeilste. Egal, ich laber zu viel. Weiter geht's. Zu wenig Eulen, meine Meinung. Aber es gibt doch die Owlery. Ihr seid solche Arschis. Oh, VOD ist aus. Sorry. Danke fürs Erinnern. VOD ist an.
That's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly is our tool wheel.
VOD.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now.
Die Brille schützt doch mein Auge.
And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts.
Wir sind die ganze Zeit in einem Raum.
And for those
Und das
fans
sieht so
out there
geil
that
aus.
aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements of our HUD. But
Really immerse yourself.
Yeah. And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's kind of that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories.
Die Clips gucke ich mir dann im Anschluss an.
Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah.
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger
Yeah.
set.
Das
Sort of
ist wie eine
feel.
The first
Hobbithöhle.
thing I know is the music. The score is amazing with this.
Gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
Das heißt, jedes Haus hat andere Musik. Kann man auch ein böser Zauberer sein? Fragt meine Freundin. Ja. Es gibt so ein Good and Evil Kompass, I don't know. So ähnlich wie bei Fable, denke ich mal, wird das ablaufen. Falls ihr Fable gespielt habt. Egal welches Fable.
We just want to welcome you to your common room in every single house. Just
Braucht eine neue SSD nur für Hogwarts Legacy Screenshots. Geil. Ich habe auch alle Fables gespielt. Fable 2 ist mein Lieblingsfable. Weiter geht's.
a little bit differently. Begin customizing that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
So I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers on the fireplace.
It's got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very
Ich will's
earthy.
jetzt
Which is like
spielen.
elements for each of the houses,
Yeah,
right? Like,
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw's air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We
Wow.
really lean
Ich glaube, ich spiele erst Ravenclaw gut und danach als Slytherin die dunkle Seite. Hä? Willst du damit gerade sagen, dass alle Slytherins böse sind? Das ist ein richtiger Ron Weasley gerade.
into that for each common room.
Wow.
So if it feels earthy, we've got a little earthen passageway. That's
Bin auch
what
enttäuscht von
we're-
Christina.
Hopefully
jetzt
it
nicht
should feel
gedacht
very
von ihr.
familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
but I know you don't want to leave, but we're gonna be leaving.
Aber bei diesen Beschütze XYZ-Quests bin ich verrückt geworden. Yes. Und jetzt der Sound, Leute. Hört genau hin. Seid ihr ready?
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
Very tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something there.
Revelio!
Yeah. So these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some
XP.
XP for it.
Mhm.
And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge
Okay,
up in the
okay.
corner.
Uh-huh.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves, what?
Continue, I'm sorry. Continue.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Yeah.
But in our game, we had to answer the question, you know, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay. Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's
Peace!
Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before we push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide, and you can see your house kind of
Right
crest
in the middle,
overlaid
yeah.
over it. right?
Okay.
Machen wir mal hier kurz Pause. Leute, es gibt sowas wie, also das erklären die jetzt. Es gibt ein Field Guide, so ein Buch. Wir können verschiedene Seiten für dieses Buch finden. So, das ist so Wissen, was wir als später Fünftklässler nicht haben können, weil wir ja nicht von Anfang an auf Hogwarts waren. Wie zum Beispiel eben gerade wegen Hufflepuff, wie man in den Common Room vom Hufflepuff kommt. Leute, ich bin so froh, dass ich da 4 Tage Urlaub habe. Ja. Und man sieht hier, man hat einen Tab für Gear, das heißt, man kann wahrscheinlich seine Ausrüstung ändern, wie zum Beispiel Hüte anziehen und so. Was ich mich frage, ob verschiedene Ausrüstungsgegenstände auch Werte haben. Das heißt, mehr Verteidigung oder mehr Glück oder irgendwie sowas. Es gibt ein Inventar, es gibt Talente, es gibt eine Collection, wahrscheinlich kann man irgendwas Besonderes finden oder so. Nee, glaub nicht. Okay. Es gibt Einstellungsmöglichkeiten. Es gibt die Owl Post. Ich weiß nicht, ob man da irgendwie Briefe kriegt im Spiel oder so. I don't know. Vielleicht kann man auch Gegenstände zu Freunden schicken. Vielleicht ist das dieser Multiplayer-Aspekt ist vielleicht der, dass du Freunden was schreiben kannst. Oder schicken kannst. I don't know. Vielen Dank für die 15 Bits. Maxi, dankeschön. Und hallo Nori, schönen Feiertag nach Sachsen gewünscht. Heute ist ein Feiertag, hä? Es gibt die Map von Hogwarts. Vermutlich, je nachdem, in welchem Gebiet du dich befindest. Oder man kann sich da durchklicken. I don't know. Und es gibt einen Quest-Tab. So. Weiter geht's.
And you can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors
So
have
cool.
granted it to you as a late fifth-year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of
On the bottom.
locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges, exploration challenges, and you can see field guide pages are on there as well.
Yeah.
1%. We unlock that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself kind of
Leute, ich will
spills
spielen.
out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're actually going to interact with to help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just the field
Janine,
guide
danke für die
challenge
15
leader
Bits.
and XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone. So.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase here. We're not gonna.
Er hat gerade gesagt, es gibt über 100 von diesen Field Guides-Seiten nur in Hogwarts. Über 100. Das heißt, man findet wahrscheinlich auch woanders noch Seiten. Ich will spielen.
Staircase
All
to
the
match the tower.
portraits.
Yeah.
And I did notice the flue flame just ignite right
Guck mal
there.
hier. Einfach so eine Tapete, so eine Wandtapete. Wie geil das ist.
Which was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fast travel points there.
Und Fast Travel funktioniert hier über das Flu-Powder, also Flohpulver. Flohnetzwerk.
House hourglasses. We had to.
Wandteppich.
How much fun was it designing those and putting all
Oh, they're
those in there?
gorgeous,
But
that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right
It's
next
a
to
nod
the
to
Great
lore.
Hall.
it's a nod to
Yeah.
lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
Die Hauspunkte sind leider keine Mechanik im Spiel, Leute. Das heißt, wir können nicht aktiv Punkte sammeln. Ab und zu über die Story wird das automatisch funktionieren, wird erklärt. Aber man kann jetzt nicht aktiv irgendwas machen und dafür Punkte sammeln für sein Haus. Das geht leider nicht. Da ist doch was zum Sammeln und sammelt's nicht. Mach mich kirre.
We didn't turn it, we didn't turn it
narratively.
into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative, and there are lots of
Wie
choices.
geil die
where we
aussehen.
want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but
Yeah.
but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right
Part of the
there,
Wizarding
Andrew
World.
was teasing. That's the Great
Great
Hall.
Hall.
Over through those doors. Again, we're not going there.
Da ist die große Halle, da ist die Great Hall. Aber da gehen die natürlich nicht rein.
Right
Part of the
there,
Wizarding
Andrew
World.
was teasing. That's the Great
Great
Hall.
Hall.
Over through
Yeah.
those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Cool. Cool.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just these things around
Accio!
Hogwarts that you
Accio!
can do and pick up and.
That's a shot straight from the trailer too. Just that part right there. I recognize
We
that.
might be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those. So
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail they put into this is kind of.
Die Fenster ändern sich mit der Jahreszeit, Leute. Wie gesagt, es gibt ja einen Tag-Nacht-Wechsel. Mein Gott. Hogwarts Winter, Leute.
I get surprised by it all the time.
That's a
didn't even know that was a
sentient
thing.
magic castle. So.
Janine.
Oh, man. And we're going out. Look at that.
This is where the students would normally kind of congregate just to kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside the Great Hall before and after meals.
And I love the way that when the castle interconnects to, that it interconnects
Gott,
outside,
Leute.
inside. There are pathways on both sides of
Oh.
things, so you really get a sense of scope to how big this castle is.
And when you see things like you'll notice a bridge over there, that's a place you can go to and cross. Like
Yeah.
everything that you see is a place. That
Jetzt
you
so
can
viele
visit.
Fotos machen.
Wow.
We put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive, not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's Scotland.
Yeah.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it, and
Oh my gosh.
that landscape, that
This
Scottish.
location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the Spring ASMR, and yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to
I am
that.
going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on.
No.
We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts
So-
contains a lot of secrets.
Oh my god.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love that. I love
Each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration Courtyard, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of the hub
Oh my
of a
god.
lot of the castle.
Even the color visually, you can just tell. Okay, green,
Oh, green, go that
greenhouse.
way.
Oh my god.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah.
it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
Das ist doch eine Seite.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis.
It
It's
is
a
a-
castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yes.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what
that
I'm
statue
doing. I know
is
what I'm
from the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh my
This
god.
is another location where the students will gather.
Das ist ein
and just
Questgeber.
kind of chill out.
And an
uh,
opportunity to talk to somebody, get a
Yeah.
quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way.
The
I'm
words
just
of
so
Nelly.
excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
Sunny.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumor is that a former headmistress, Professor Mole, conjured them to protect the
Professor
contents
Mole?
of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch
Will
one.
er jetzt hin? Ja, ich
Why
auch.
would I do that?
Each
Ich schicke ja Janine ab und zu mal so Reels von den echten Hogwarts Orten oder Drehorten. Und das sieht alles so geil aus. Ich will da überall hin. Und ich will jetzt das Spiel spielen. Guck, wie geil der Baum aussieht. Oh!
key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
Der im Hintergrund mit dem Rauch.
Those kind of
I
side
hope
quests are
you
really, it's a cool way to interact
If you manage to
with
open a
your fellow
cabinet.
students, with perhaps other teachers, with, various things like that, as well as teach you some more of the secrets of Hogwarts, I think. There's a
In this
little
case,
bit of that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Schön
it-
geil
the
cozy
students
auf
are a
dem
way to
Sofa.
kind of like flesh out the school opportunities around it, what we can do, and then those interactions, different interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a
Sometimes
nice
just about
guy
the
or just
mission.
being a jerk.
Yes, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts
Power.
Tower, which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the
Leute, guckt
richness
euch
of
den
it.
geilen
Very
Boden
iconic,
an.
Very unique to. anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody
Sieht
else
alles
that
so
we can talk
geil
to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year or an 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Der Hall bei ihrer
Because
Stimme.
Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoil sports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with
Typische
gobstones?
Ravenclaw ist so.
Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Hochnäsig und Klugscheißerin.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Eine Suchquest. Sie müssen ihre Gobstones finden.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
Diese Vorurteile. Ist so.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her. You can be a jerk to her. You can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean. Like,
Yeah,
Mann, wie
your
redet die
opportunity to
denn?
meet
Regt mich
them
auf.
are over. So,
Sie redet Englisch.
Continue.
that's a good example of.
Aber ich weiß, was du meinst.
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask. Gobstones.
I
are
know
Gobstones
what
playable?
you
They mentioned it,
mean.
right?
Yeah. So yeah, Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game.
Nicht spielbar.
I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's both it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the
Gobstones,
overall health of
Wizard's
the thing.
chest.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Aren't featured.
Yeah.
They're featured
Ich will
within the
überall
world.
hin, ich will
I'm
alles
glad they
sehen.
mentioned they're a part of the wizarding world.
Every single time
Part of
there was something that
students'
we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, you know, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too. We're
Das ist auch eine Sache, die ich überlegt hatte, Christina, ob es deutsche Synchro gibt. Also ich denke, es wird deutsche Untertitel geben. Wegen deutscher Synchro weiß ich nicht. Da würde ich mich jetzt aber nicht drauf verlassen. Ja. Also deutsche Bildschirmtexte. Ich glaube, deutsche Bildschirmtexte wird es geben, aber nicht synchronisiert. Würde mich wundern, wenn es keine deutsche Synchro gäbe. Ja, aber das weiß ich nicht. I don't know.
Your reaction.
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that
English with
staircase
flair.
to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking
Yes.
by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it, so tell us how classes work.
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day? And that kind of thing. Like, can I miss class at this time of day? and
There
that kind of
is a
thing.
day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night
Tag- und
cycle, but
Nachtwechsel.
everything is very narrative-based, and so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative, each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that.
Gerade im
They're kind of like
Ravenclaw-Teil, oder
side
wo
classroom
kommt die
missions,
Musik jetzt her?
essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure, and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, maybe down there who's sipping some tea with the
Victorian high
high society.
High society.
Yes.
And it's no wonder you like this area, because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh,
and
come on.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like, it just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that.
Ich will spielen.
I
Mir
just saw
fällt
it.
schon stark gut an, wenn sich der deutsche Markt die Synchro entgehen lassen würde.
The data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in
Müssen wir
Hogwarts.
abwarten und schauen.
It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality. And
Also laut Steam ist bei Deutsch.
Personality. I like
also,
that because
Yeah,
it
a
gives
lot
it
of
does
Ton.
like
Haken.
Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts
Also
is its own
Untertitel und
character no
Ton.
matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of
And
grow
full
and
of,
develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic.
Weil ich glaube, ich würde dann auch gleich die Bildschirmtexte halt auf Deutsch, aber den Rest also Stimme, Synchro auf Englisch. Steht ja auch bei Steam drauf. Deswegen, mal schauen.
Mr. Magic himself.
might feature a poltergeist or two.
We talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky,
Yeah,
and he's got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just
Sehr viele Sachen auch aus den Büchern übernommen. Das heißt, falls ihr jetzt nur die Filme gesehen habt, dann werdet ihr trotzdem das Wissen anhand von den Seiten, die man finden kann, aneignen können. Aber sehr viel auch aus den Büchern. Wie zum Beispiel jetzt Karte hier.
past a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
All right, I gotta call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are at the Owlry. We're looking directly at the Owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
Seht ihr da überall
At
Eulen?
the Owlry.
I love the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
But no, I also love that as I one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to.
Eulen, wir
that I
brauchen
can
Eulen.
visit. I just love that sensation
That's
knowing
so
that is
cool.
real.
That lovely Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle.
Die einfach
We're
da alle
closing it out here
chillen.
in the clock tower, so another recognizable location.
Yeah.
But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club, is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That
man
would
auch
be
eine eigene
wonderful.
Eule haben
Be
kann.
sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands.
Hoffentlich.
If you need to stop practicing,
Weil der hatte ja am
or you finish
Anfang,
all of them,
im Schlafraum war ja eine Eule. Ich weiß nicht, ob das Haustier, was du dir ausgesucht hattest. Oder, I don't know. Ich glaube auch nicht, dass so der Anfang vom Spiel ist, dass du einen Charakter erstellst und dann einfach im Schlafraum spawnst. Die haben das ja jetzt nur gemacht für den Showcase. Weiß ich nicht. Warum sind wir die einzigen in so einem Special-Mantel? Das ist der Mantel von dem Account-Linking von Warner Brothers Studio und Wizarding World. Ich meine, du kannst wahrscheinlich auch auswählen, dass du das nicht benutzen willst. Dann siehst du halt mit deinem Mantel aus wie jeder andere, der in deinem Haus ist.
let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game this is going to be the first time where you yourself
Jetzt zeigen die, wie das Kampfsystem funktioniert.
get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There are certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped.
Aber die macht
with
ja
the
die
base
bis dahin
button.
was.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over
Jetzt
the
so hart
course of the
ablosen.
game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that
Glaub an dich.
you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very
Wenn
rapidly.
ich das schaffen sollte, dann schafft das jeder.
And so you learn over the
Meine
course of
Meinung.
these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update
Ich will
those
jetzt
things.
in 82
And
Tagen auf
so
jeden Tag
if you
den
hold down
Controller genau einprägen.
R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them.
Also das sind jetzt die PlayStation Controller. Du benutzt ja einen PlayStation Controller, oder? Das heißt, wenn ich dir dann irgendwas sagen muss, dann muss ich erstmal umdenken auf den PlayStation Controller. Ja, ich muss doch X, benutze doch X. Also ich benutze doch X. Ja, aber bei dir ist ja, dein X ist ja mein A. Weißt du? Geil. Big Time Event.
And that's how you access
Ja,
all those.
Combo.
Oh man.
Du musst die Kombos raus.
It looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together,
So you use
pull those
Leviosa
combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well
Good
done,
job,
Andrew.
Andrew.
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause
I'm
the
ready.
pause the action
Yeah.
and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there is about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of
One
your
of the other
classmates.
students.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're not. We want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against 3 people.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Off the jump.
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in. You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we kind of put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this control spells. And so those things for the player,
Ist eine Tasteneselsbrücke zu merken, sowas wie in Jode Seife waschen.
Which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health. And so, you know, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then that you will be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with Protego.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on the character, you know, and you're
Du könntest ja ein Bild vom Controller ausdrucken und unter deinem Bildschirm kleben oder so. Maybe.
Doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here. Win this duel.
How fast it is. It's like a dance.
Yeah, we really felt like in the movies, there's almost like it's kind of like there's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
Understandable.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Dark Pictures? Ja, das willst du nicht mit mir spielen.
That is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we
an der Stelle, Janine, Rip Dinkum, auch bei dir natürlich. Ich hoffe nicht, dass bei Hogwarts Legacy auch genauso endet.
Didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. You know, so leaving the castle, going out here.
More owls confirmed.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes, all of the owls. But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And this is not somewhere where we're going today, but we will definitely be taking you in the future.
Heute Hogwarts.
A little glimpse at the scale of the castle back there.
Möglichkeit
All right,
ist
so we're gonna wrap things up here, but
ich helfe dir einfach, Janine.
I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side, I know there's a few things that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that, because there's a lot. Let me grab it. All right, so Some of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So,
and also from, I mean, going through this, I
Based
feel like
off
you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about. I'm sure.
Elaborate on, because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color, so kind of like core shapes, you know, like with the body and face, not after the fact. But there are lots of things. There's kind of like a barbershop in Hogsmeade that you can go to, and
of course,
inside
there's a wizard barber.
you customize,
You could change your hair color for holidays or something, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
The game features a lot of appearance customization.
Geil.
So there's a ton of options there. But that's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have the character creator. It's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my gosh, awesome. Next question: what kind of leisurely activity can we do? Can we study with our free time? I mean, what will we be doing just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete it with your professor. And so there are opportunities to study, so to speak, like with that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow. Let's get into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system. When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach.
Der Pulli macht mich aggressiv. Dein Hauspulli hier, oder?
Approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
I won't be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second playthrough?
Second playthrough, yes. Okay. Dark Hufflepuff coming, #soon. I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those
Dark
books
Hufflepuff
again.
spielen.
I hope that whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it and live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer, and I will. But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that. But when I rewatch the films, or or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
Right.
And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know it's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here and there's this person over here and this thing happened. And it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story.
Yeah.
So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point,
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just like, it's kind of incredible.
Muss ich die Bücher jetzt noch lesen bis zum Release?
And wrapping it up.
Nee, wir haben ja vorhin gesagt, so, dass einige Sachen, die man zum Beispiel nicht weiß aus Büchern oder so, man lernt das durch diesen Field Guide. Also wie zum Beispiel, wie man das Haus oder wie man den Common Room betritt vom Hufflepuff. Das wird ja im Film nicht gezeigt. Frech, dass du es noch nicht getan hast. Wollte es nicht sagen.
You know, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories because it is your story and you are going to be writing, you know, this is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from, we're all approaching it from different places, and I think that's going to be really cool the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff. Character creator, a little mini tour of Hogwarts there, just a small part of it, a little bit of combat. And we do have some more stuff coming up for you in the future. Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th, 2023, and is available for pre-order now. But that's going to do it from us. We're going to leave you with a little something else. But for now, bye.
Bye.
Holt euch das Spiel. Also wenn ihr es spielen wollt.